Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. Today I want to talk about a topic that I've seen discussed on some other YouTube channels in the last few weeks, and that is basically why do certain new calibers, new cartridges fail? And One of the YouTubers that I'm talking about is the Yankee Marshall, and I do generally enjoy watching his videos. And in several videos recently, he talked about the 30 Super Carry and why the 30 Super Carry was basically a failed round. And, I don't even know what it came out this year, last year. When did it come out? I don't know. I don't have one. But he was basically saying how the 30 Super Carry, it failed because it was marketed improperly and it was a round that nobody asked for. And, for the most part, I'll agree with a lot of the points that he made. But I also feel like there's a couple other reasons why certain calibers don't do so well. And honestly, it's just because there's a lack of guns available and there's a lack of ammo available. And this is also a topic that I've kind of seen him talk about recently with talking about how pretty much all guns are 9mm these days with a few exceptions. But, I feel like for that reason, those two reasons, that's why a lot of newer calibers fail right out the gate, pretty much. So let's talk about the 30 Super Carry. Now, I don't have a 30 Super Carry, but from what I understand, it is basically a 30 carbine brought down to a 9mm size round. So this caliber, but in this size of a round. And basically, the advantage, if you want to call it an advantage, is that you can have a 9mm size gun, whether it be a compact, subcompact, or full size, like this Smith & Wesson 5906 here, and you can have more rounds and still have a perfectly lethal round. Now, I don't know all the ballistics on the 30 Super Carry, but I imagine it'll kill or wound an attacker just as easily as any other round, like say 380 ACP. But problem is that 380 ACP, first of all, I think it's more powerful. It's less powerful than 9mm, but I think it's probably more powerful than the 30 Super Carry. You got a bigger bullet. You have more options when it comes to ammo because it's been around significantly longer. And obviously the same with the 9mm. I mean, the 9mm is like the go-to round that everybody goes to nowadays. Just about every gun manufacturer under the sun makes ammo for it. Just about every gun or every ammunition manufacturer makes ammo for this round. So, 9mm, I mean, there's no shortage of that when it comes to number of companies making both guns and ammo. 380 is not too terribly far behind 9mm. There's definitely not as many options, but there's still quite a few options when it comes to 380. And not only just options in terms of companies that make it, but also bullet size, types of bullets. Like we're talking Full Metal Jacket, jacketed hollow points, ballistic tips, things like that. And so, and same with the 40 cal, the 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, I hear the 40 Smith & Wesson is kind of dying off, but the 40 Smith & Wesson is still a very popular round. There's a lot of guns still out there in circulation, and a lot of guns still being manufactured today, mainly by Glock and Smith & Wesson, I believe, that they shoot the 40 Smith & Wesson round. And so they're definitely, all three of these calibers and 45 ACP and maybe even some other calibers in the revolver world, there's just a lot more out there, a lot more manufacturers making ammo, making guns. Now, I mean, I don't know how many manufacturers actually make 30 Super Carry as far as ammunition goes. I haven't really kept track of that, but I can tell you the only two gun companies that I've ever seen make guns in 30 Super Carry are Smith & Wesson, and they make, I guess, 4 models in their M&P line, which I personally am not a very big fan of the Smith & Wesson M&P. And the other option is Nighthawk Custom 1911s, which to me is very bizarre. You're taking basically a 45 caliber size gun and putting a 30 caliber size bullet in it. And sure, you get more ammo in the magazine, and I don't know, do they have double stacks? Does Nighthawk make double stacks? I have no idea. And the reason is because Nighthawk is so expensive. I mean, what is that, like a $3,000 1911? I mean, who actually can afford a $3,000 1911? Hell, they may even be more than that as far as I know. I've never really looked at their prices, but I mean, when your options are a Smith & Wesson pistol that not everybody's a big fan of, but a lot of people are, or a really expensive custom 1911, I personally am not going to go after either one of those. And so, because of the reason that not as many gun manufacturers actually make guns for this round, like if any of these other manufacturers made it, I mean, like, yeah, that's obviously a Smith & Wesson, and they don't make that specific Smith & Wesson anymore. But if there were other full-size guns out there, maybe like Ruger or Glock, maybe SIG, maybe I would look at it. Or maybe if some compacts like a Car, this is a Car K9, or if there were some other compact guns out there as well, maybe in double stack, or maybe if Walther made a PPK or any of their other guns in 30 Super Carry, maybe it would be something I would actually look for. But as far as the options on the market today, I'm just not interested because there's not enough out there for me to be interested. So now let me get on the other side of the camera here and we'll talk about the other round that I think hopefully may not be destined for failure, and that is the 360 Buckhammer. Now, the 360 Buckhammer, and again, I don't have any to show you, but the 360 Buckhammer is basically a 30-30 round, like this one here. Stupid camera needs to focus. So a 30-30 round, but it's necked up to basically a 35-36 caliber, like these 350 Legend rounds, and that's basically your 360 Buckhammer. And it's a good round for all these states that have the straight wall cartridge deer hunting restrictions. There's 4 or 5 states that have the straight wall cartridge restrictions, and that's how we got the 350 Legend. Now this round on this side here, this is a 180 grain soft point, and this is a 150 grain ballistic tip. 350 Legend, and 350 Legend is a great round. And the reason why 350 Legend has been so popular is, one, it came out before the 400 Legend or the 360 Buckhammer, but also there are so many more manufacturers that made both guns and ammo. So I mean, the 350 Legend, I guess it came out, and Winchester was the parent manufacturer that came out with it. But I mean, there's Federal, Remington, Hornady, Browning, Barnes, and there's probably a few more. I don't know if Arms Corps makes it, but I mean, there's probably close to a dozen ammo manufacturers that made ammo for the 350 Legend. And not only just the manufacturers, the number of manufacturers, but also the different options in bullets. I mean, these are both made by Winchester, but these are just two examples of bullets made by by Winchester. But anyway, camera's not gonna cooperate with me today. So anyway, you have all those manufacturers for the ammunition. You have all the manufacturers for the rifles. So you have, guns made by Ruger, by Savage, by Mossberg, by Winchester, there's probably guns made by companies I've never even heard of. And not to mention all the AR-15s out there, all the AR-15 uppers that you can get for your lowers, that all accept the 350 Legend round. Now, when it comes to the 360 Buckhammer, which, granted, it is a newer round than the 350 Legend, but as far as it is right now, at the end of 2023, there are two ammo manufacturers, and actually they're the same manufacturer because I think Federal owns Remington, and I guess they were also actually sold out to somebody else now too. But anyway, the two brands of ammo are Remington and Federal, and each one of them only make two options. So I believe it's a 180 grain bullet and a 180 grain and a 200 grain for both of them. So that's really only four options as far as ammo goes. I mean, that's it. Like Hornady, Winchester, any of these other big ammunition companies, none of them make 360 Buckhammer as of yet. And the only gun manufacturer that makes guns for the 360 Buckhammer is Henry. And granted, they're the ones who basically help design the round, but basically you have a Henry that looks a lot like this steel receiver big boy here in 360 Buckhammer, and then you have the X model in 360 Buckhammer, and that's it. Now I think they're going to make their single shot rifle, at least in the steel, maybe even in the brass, I don't know, in 360 Buckhammer, and then they may make like the all-weather or, the color case hardened. They may come out with models in all these different configurations, but still, unless Marlin or Winchester or maybe even Rossi comes out with a 360 Buckhammer lever action, or if there's any other companies that make lever actions. I don't know of any off the top of my head that actually make lever actions anymore that are not just solely cowboy action lever actions. Like Mossberg, I don't even think makes a lever action rifle anymore. They used to, but they don't anymore. You have like Uberti and like Taylor's and Company. Is that one? Cimarron. But these are all like these are all cowboy action. And then you have Chiappa. Chiappa might be another one that might make one in 360 Buckhammer. But and I don't know if there are any like single shot rifles out there that could be chambered in 360 Buckhammer and any other manufacturer. But as it sits right now, you have one gun manufacturer and two ammo brands made by the same manufacturer, and that equates to, right now at the end of 2023, you have 2 options for rifles and 4 options for ammo out of all of that. So to me, that's not a very good variety. Now, I would love to give 360 Buckhammer a good, I would love to give it a try, because I'm open to having another really good brush gun that's bigger than 30-30, but not quite as big as a 45-70. So, whether that's a 35 Remington, whether that's the 350 Legend, whether it's, something, or 360 Buckhammer, I would love to give like a medium size brush gun a try, and that would definitely be in the running for me. But I'm not really satisfied with the options that are on the table as of yet. So hopefully in 2024 we get more ammo manufacturers, maybe another gun company will pick up the round. Who knows? But, you know, because of these reasons, I think that's why a lot of new calibers just fail after a couple of years. So anyway, that's all I have for that video.
Hey, before I go, I just thought I'd remind everybody that I do have a second channel called Redneck Off the Range. Over there, I post most of my non-gun related content, so whether it's a video on my new tractor, my power tools, my projects that I'm working on, maybe wild game recipes, or just a random vlog, I post all of this kind of content over on my secondary channel. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go check it out, Redneck Off the Range. But that's all for this video, so subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.